You know the feeling, right? You spend hours, maybe even days, making your resume absolutely perfect. You find that dream job, you click submit, and then crickets, just total silence. If you've ever felt like your job applications are just vanishing into some kind of digital black hole, I'm here to tell you you're not going crazy. There's a hidden gatekeeper that's standing in your way. So let's dive in and figure out exactly how to beat these resume robots. Okay, just let this number sink in for a second. 75%. That's a huge number. It means that 3 out of every 4 resumes, 3, get tossed out by software before a single human being even lays eyes on them. And here's the kicker. It's not because the people applying aren't qualified. Nope. It's because their resumes just weren't built to be read by a machine. And that is the exact problem we're going to solve today. So here's our game plan. We're going to tackle this head on in 5 steps. First up, we'll meet this digital gatekeeper. Then we'll break down exactly why so many resumes fail the test. After that, we'll actually build an ATS-friendly blueprint, piece by piece. Then we'll level up and talk about optimizing for both AI and humans. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into your new winning strategy. All right, so who is this invisible barrier standing between you and that job you want? Well, it's not a person, it's a piece of software. And if you want to beat it, you first have to understand it. So let's get properly introduced to the program that is the very first hurdle in pretty much every modern job search. It's called an applicant tracking system, or just ATS for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a bouncer or a filtering tool for companies. I mean, when a single job posting gets hundreds, sometimes thousands of applicants, it's literally impossible for a person to read them all. So the ATS jumps in. It scans for keywords, skills, titles, and experience, and then it scores and ranks every single resume. Only the top scoring ones ever make it to a real person's desk. And listen, this isn't just for the huge, giant corporations. The number of companies using this is what's really mind-blowing. A whopping 99% of Fortune 500 companies use an ATS. But look at that second bar. Over 90% of all recruiters now rely on this software. So here's the takeaway. Unless you're applying to a very, very small business, you should just assume that the first reader of your resume won't be a person, but an algorithm. Okay, so knowing that you're writing for a robot first, that changes everything, doesn't it? It means a lot of the things we've been taught to do to make our resumes look pretty and stand out to a human can actually make them completely unreadable to a machine. Let's look at the most common and, frankly, easily avoidable mistakes that get perfectly good candidates knocked out of the running. This right here is where so many resumes go wrong. See, the ATS reads a document very simply, from top to bottom and left to right. That's it. So anything that messes with that simple flow, like tables or columns, can totally scramble your information. Graphics, images, charts, the software can't see them. It also usually ignores anything you put in the header or the footer. And yeah, even things that seem harmless, like a super fancy font or cool custom bullet points, or getting creative with section headers like My Journey instead of just work experience, can confuse the system and make it miss your best stuff. This quote really hits the nail on the head. It's not that your experience is wrong, it's that the document itself, the file you're sending, is unreadable to the machine. As you can see here, most of the errors come from those complex design choices. So from now on, just remember this. When it comes to formatting, simplicity is your absolute best friend. Let's just look at a side-by-side comparison. Over here on the left, you've got your ATS-ready resume. It's clean, it's a single column with standard headers like work experience. It uses boring but safe fonts, and it's saved in a simple file format. Now look at the right. This is a resume designed only for a person to look at. It might look cool, sure, with multiple columns and logos and cool fonts. But to an ATS, this resume is a minefield of errors. Your goal isn't just to impress a person, it's to get past the robot so a person gets the chance to be impressed. Okay, that's enough about what's going wrong. Let's start building the solution. We are going to walk through a resume section by section and put together a blueprint that is built from the ground up to get past the bots. We'll start right at the top. First things first, your contact info. This is so important. Like we said, a lot of these systems completely ignore the header and footer of a document. So your name, your phone number, your email address, all of that has to be in the main body of the page. And get really literal with the formatting. Use a standard phone number format without any parentheses or extra symbols that might trip up the software. Next up, your professional summary. Think of this as your elevator pitch. This is prime real estate to include the exact job title you're applying for, plus some of the most important keywords you found in the job description. Doing this immediately tells the ATS that you're a strong match right from the get-go. Now for the main event, your work experience. Reverse chronological is the gold standard. It's what the robots expect, and it's what recruiters expect. Use a clear standard heading like work experience or professional experience. And pay really close attention to your dates. Be 100% consistent. If you use Jan 2023 for one job, you better use that same format for every single entry. That consistency is what helps the machine accurately understand your career history. All right, let's talk about the skills section, because this is where precision is absolutely everything. This is no time for synonyms or creative phrasing. You need a separate, dedicated section called skills. Then you go through that job description with a fine-tooth comb, and you use the exact keywords and phrases you find. If they ask for project management, your resume needs to say project management, not something coarse like managing projects. This direct one-to-one matching is one of the biggest things that will boost your ATS score. And finally, the last little technical details. Unless the job posting specifically says otherwise, a docx file is usually your safest bet. Some older ATS can get tripped up on PDFs, but most modern systems are fine with a text-based PDF. And please don't forget the file name. Name it something professional like first name _ last name _ resume. It just makes things easier for the recruiter on the other end. Never, ever just call it resume.docx. Okay, so now you've built a solid machine-readable resume. Awesome. But we can't stop there. The game is changing. These applicant tracking systems are getting smarter every year, and that means our resumes have to get more sophisticated too. It's not enough to just be readable by a bot. It has to be compelling for the human who reads it next. This right here is a real game changer. The old advice was to just cram as many keywords as you could into your resume. Well, that strategy is dead. In fact, it can actually hurt you now. The new systems use AI to understand context. Put simply, they don't just count how many times you say a word, they understand how you're using it. They're smart enough to know that just listing a skill is one thing, but showing how you use that skill to get real results is way, way more valuable. So how do you impress both the robot and the recruiter at the same time? Well, here's how. Quantify your achievements. Put numbers on them. Increase traffic by 70% sounds great to a human, and it gives the AI valuable context. For acronyms, spell out the full phrase first, then put the abbreviation in parentheses. That way, you'll match the keyword no matter which version they search for. Use strong action verbs. Those are mainly for the human reader. And for goodness sake, proofread. A simple typo can get you rejected by both the software and the hiring manager. And one last warning, never ever try to trick the system by hiding keywords with white text. They will find it and they will flag you. All right, we've covered the nuts and bolts, and we've talked about the advanced strategy. Now, let's pull it all together. This is your winning playbook, a simple, repeatable process you can use for every single application to give yourself the best possible shot at landing that interview. This is your new 5-step process. Step 1, before you do anything else, you analyze that job description. Hunt for the keywords. A little pro tip, you can copy and paste the text into a free online word cloud generator to see which words pop up the most. Step 2, tailor your resume. You should have one master resume, but you need to create a custom version for every single job. Step 3, run through all the formatting rules we just talked about. 4, submit it in the right format. And 5, keep track of your applications so you can see what's working and what isn't. So from now on, before you click that submit button, just run through this quick final checklist. Is your layout one clean column? Check. Are your section headers simple and standard? Check. Are all the tables, charts, and graphics gone? Check. Did you customize the keywords for this specific job? And did you do one final proofread? If you can say yes to all of those, you are in great shape. So I'll just leave you with this one question. After everything we've talked about, is your resume really ready to compete? Because it's not enough anymore to just write a resume for a person. To win in today's job market, your resume has to be bilingual. It has to be fluent in the language of algorithms and compelling in the language of humans. And now you have the blueprint to make that happen.